This is Unit 5, Week 1, question number 3. Who's Rockefeller? Another massive monopolist titan, man who made immense amounts of money. What industry? Oil. He made his fortune in oil, not digging it out of the ground, but by refining it, processing the raw material into a usable product, mostly for heating, not for engine power early on anyways. And he did this with a unique couple strategies. First, he created a trust, a corporation that owned he was the main shareholder in that trust. And what he would do, he would add his competition, other oil producers, other oil refiners. Sometimes he'd go into their area, their town, and sell his product below cost, so he lost money. But by selling it below cost and losing money himself, the local competitor couldn't sell anything, was driven out of business. Then Rockefeller would control that part of the country's business and raise his prices. But even Rockefeller didn't like losing money to make it in the long term. So he very quickly just went to his competitors and said, how would you like to join my corporation? I'll give you seats on the board of trustees. I'll give you shares in the corporation. And then you'll be part of my giant monopoly. So very quickly, he dominated the oil industry, owned over 90% of the processing of oil, because he controlled all of the processors by adding them into his own trust, either by dominating them till they went out of business, or just giving them shares. But he also used a strategy which was the horizontal monopoly. He didn't dig oil out of the ground, he didn't sell it in stores, he refined it. But by controlling all of the refining, anyone who digs it out of the ground had to sell it to him, cheap, and anybody who wanted to sell it had to get it from him, and he could sell at a high price. So he dominated one step in the production of oil. Eventually, he went after a vertical monopoly, which is when you control part of each step. You have, say, if you sell hamburgers, you have a few hamburger joints. You also have the ranches where the cows are raised. You have a few processing plants for slaughterhouses. You have delivery vehicles and the burger chain. So a vertical monopoly, you control each step, and the final product that you sell, you can keep your costs down. But the government is much more concerned about horizontal monopolies, because if you can control one step in the manufacturing of a good, you can dominate that whole process. Rockefeller did that by controlling the refining of oil. If I controlled all the graphite mines in the world and nothing else, I could control the cost of a pencil, because you need graphite to go in that pencil, even if I don't have any lumber erasers or manufacturing plants. So the monopolies became a fear of the public and eventually of the government, and Rockefeller built one of the first ones early on. A horizontal monopoly and a trust where he added his competitors into one company. And that's it from some guy in an Aloha print shirt. He also took over Williamsburg and rebuilt the entire city just for entertainment.